Good morning folks, and welcome back to Carp Files, and welcome to an absolute picturesque, beautiful fishery set in the middle of the Kent countryside. We're at the amazing Greenacres Farm Fishery, and what a place this is. I got here yesterday, I had a good walk about, looking around all the different lakes. There's 5 lakes on the complex here, and there literally is something for everybody. No matter what sort of coarse fish sort of takes your fancy, it's here at Greenacres. It's absolutely a phenomenal place. You know, it's got everything from islands to pads to reeds to bays to coves, well established, all mature trees. It's absolutely fantastic, and there's some absolute whacking big fish to go at as well. But we're gonna, same as ever on these sort of fishery tours, we're gonna be winding in the rods later today, and then showing you the whole complex, you know, showing you all the swims, all the different lakes, and giving you a much more sort of insight to what you can expect here when you arrive at Greenacres Farm Fishery. So I'm currently sitting or angling on Specimen 1 lake. A beautiful little lake. Like I say, I'll be covering more of this in a short while, but I got here yesterday. The swim that I'm actually fishing, I wasn't allowed on until sort of after 5:30. Finally got to swim just after 6, and as the nights are drawing in now, started to lose the lights, I thought we'll stop the filming and we'll pick up this morning. But I managed to get the rods out last night. I'm fishing just over in front of me on peg 1 and 2. I've got a big set of pads, so I've got one just back the pads. I've got one just over to the right hand side as well, which I've sort of cast out over there, peppered a few boilies around it after, and then my right hand rod I've just got tucked right down the margin. There's an overhanging bush, a load of chopped up bits and pieces, and then shipped the old bait and spoon out, just tipped it under the bush, and about 3 o'clock in the morning it absolutely tanked off, which resulted in this absolutely beautiful looking common. So over the moon to get one from the off, and proper clean fish as well. And I tell you, if I'd have lost it, I would have thought it had been a catfish. It absolutely fought like stink, did not want to give up, pulled my arm off, but yeah, over the moon with that one, like a brand new penny, that thing. But yeah, chuffed us nuts with that one. Martin next door, he's the fishery manager here, he had one in the early hours as well. Lovely looking fish, nice common. And then literally about 30 minutes ago, just first light, he had this awesome looking fish. So we'll cut back to that footage that I filmed literally sort of half an hour ago. Absolutely lovely fish that, mate. So tactics for that one?
Solid PVA bag filled with pellet, and a nice tangerine mainline popper.
Very nice. Well, an absolutely beautiful fish on a beautiful morning here at Greenacres. Absolutely stunning. Mega, man. Well done, Mal. Nice one.
Thank you very much.
So there you go, solid bag success for Martin. Absolutely wicked looking fish. Definitely a fish to keep an eye on in the future. That is going to be a sought after fish as that continues to grow and grow, and no doubt becomes one of the target fish here at Specimen 1 lake. So in terms of the plans today, I'm going to give these rods another couple of hours. Obviously the sun has arose this morning, and it's just breaking behind me, as you can see, and it is a beautiful morning here in the Kent countryside. But I tell you, I cannot believe the amount of wildlife here as well. There's literally squirrels bouncing around behind your bivvy, there's kingfishers. It's just so peaceful and quiet. I absolutely love it. Really getting a good feel and vibe at this place. Enjoying my time here so far anyway. But what I'm going to do, obviously a couple of more hours on the rods, being out on the spots, and then we'll reel them in and then start showing you guys all what you can expect here at Greenacres. I'll probably start here at Specimen 1 lake, and then go over to the sort of clubhouse area, and then show you the rest of the complex as well. There's a lot to get through, guys, so I'll try and keep it as entertained as I can, and then later today also we'll be back in the swim, back angling, and then I'll talk you through rigs and baits and bits and pieces that we're sort of using on our session here. But for now, I'm going to carry on drinking my first brew of the day, and we will catch up with you a little bit later. Guys, that's the second rod in. I've got one more to bring in, and then what we're going to do is head round to a new swim here on Specimen One Lake. It's going to be known as Swim Naught. Martin has made his way round there already, so we're going to pick his brains, show you all the sort of swims on Specimen One Lake before we head off on the rest of the fishery tour. So yeah, let's get the last rod in and then head round to Swim Naught and have a catch up with Martin. So Matt, here we are, Swim Naught, you tell me.
Yeah.
Very nice. So this is a new one for the complex then?
It certainly is, yeah. It's opened this year.
Right.
Done a lot of work over here. Used to have a falling down tree. Took that all out and yeah, what a beautiful swim.
Yeah, it's absolutely stunning. So a lot of the fish used to spend a lot of time here when that tree was in the water.
Yeah, it's their safety area.
Yeah.
Obviously 1, 2, they commanded all this area.
Yeah.
And for fish safety, we took the tree out so they didn't get snagged up and we end up losing the fish or having to get in the water.
Yeah. So if you were fishing this swim, what would you be targeting then? Where would you be telling people?
If I was targeting this swim, obviously we've got a sanctuary which goes along the back here, which is to the right of the swim. A lot of fish do hold up in there if the lake's really pressured.
Yeah.
So I'd either put a solid PVA bag just in front of that swim. Just obviously if they're going in there or coming out, you will pick one up.
Right, okay. In terms of other spots over those overhanging trees as well?
Other spots, yeah, overhanging tree. They tend to go underneath there because, again, at the back of the tree, there used to be a sunken tree.
Right, okay, yeah.
So they found shelter in there. So what they're going to do is obviously hide underneath there and obviously still find the shelter, but it's gone.
Yeah.
There's nothing there whatsoever. And then obviously if you pan to the left of the tree, left of the swim, you can see another overhanging tree, and underneath it does go back quite a way and they really do feel shelter underneath.
Yeah.
Obviously since we've taken this tree out the water, that's their next option. So they'll be underneath there to the channel or underneath the other tree over to the right of you.
Nice. Lots of options, isn't there, to be fair?
Lots of options.
Yeah.
Lots of options.
Like it. So guys, that is Swim Naught. Obviously a new swim for the actual lake itself. Obviously I'm in 1 and 2 and we'll cover that a little bit later. We're going to head round now to Swim 3 where Martin had that lovely fish from earlier today, and show you the ins and outs of that swim. So guys, here we are in swim number 3. This is where Martin had that beautiful looking mirror from earlier today, and yeah, what can you tell us about this swim, mate?
Right, this swim you've got plenty of options. You've got 2 lovely margins left and right of yourself.
Yeah.
If you look out in front of you, you've got a nice tall tree on the far bank. In line with the island, and in line with that tall tree in open water, there's a lovely bit of gravel hump. Either fish on the side of it, if you see fish bubbling, or if you can see fish flanking and coming up to the surface, you know they're on top of it cleaning themselves up.
Yeah.
So that's the best option to aim for.
Okay. In terms of, I've seen, we touched on before, they show themselves with the plumes of mud coming up.
Yep.
Would that be a thing to look for in most swims when you get here? Look for those plumes.
Plumes of mud, bubbling, anything like that, because obviously where there's loads of naturals in the water, they're obviously feeding on the bloodworms.
Yeah. Okay.
The one to look for.
Okay. What about anything off that bush on the left-hand side? Is that?
Yeah. On the left-hand side, on the tip of the island, you've got a nice set of lily pads. Them lily pads are undercut, so the fish do get right underneath them. So if you can get as tight as possible, the best option that I found out is obviously a solid PVA bag, because obviously if you do get too close, you've got a chance of pulling it off.
Yeah. That's where you can just clip them, can't you, and feel it down and clip the side of them. Okay. Lovely swim. Lots of options again. Lots of open water.
If there's no one obviously in swim 7 over there, or to 1, 2 of you obviously got the lily pads. You can just clip the edge of the lily pads as well. So,
yeah, ideal. Yeah. And you said there's a gravel bar around those lily pads as well?
Yeah. Around the entire lily pads, there's a gravel bar that runs around the entire length of them. That's to stop the lily pads from growing out, because obviously the root system just hits the gravel bar and then obviously can't grow out no further. So that is a really good holding feature, and right in the middle of the lily pads there is a deeper section where the fish do hold up in and they feel safe.
Right, okay, very nice. Once again guys, a lovely swim number 3. So what we'll do now, obviously grab the camera and we'll head round to swim number 4. Okay mate, so here we are, swim number 4. Again, it looks like you've got loads of options again. What are you saying about this swim then?
Right, yeah, plenty of options again. You've got your 2 lovely margins again, left and right. If you look just to the right of you of this swim as well, there's a nice feature which sticks out the water, like a set of lily pads that comes up. Fish do get around that and they do feed off of that. Obviously you've got the island in the middle, anywhere next to that island, come about a few inches off of it and you'll hit the bottom of the shelf. Solid PVA bag again, a little bit of bait introduced, fishing on that.
Yeah.
It does work well.
Sort of your close quarters sort of fishing this, isn't it? Would you say so? Sort of cast out, sit back, sit on your hands and keep quiet basically.
Obviously because this is the deeper end of the lake, the fish do seem to draw down here as well.
Right, okay. What sort of depths are you looking at here then?
Obviously the main bowl of the lake's obviously about 5 foot deep. When you kick down to this end of it, it's about 7 foot. I know it's only 2 foot, but
yeah.
2 foot makes a lot of difference to the fish.
Yeah, well they know the difference, don't they? Without a doubt, without a doubt. So in terms of, again, a baiting, if you've got the baiting spoons that you can ship out with that precision to be able to tip it underneath these branches and next to those reeds.
That would be ideal in this swim, obviously being so close. Quarter swim.
Yeah.
To the left of the swim as well, you've got a nice big reed line. Obviously that's the downwall end as well, all undercut, as tight as you can to there, and the fish do wide underneath.
Nice, that's a lovely swim.
Tip of the island as well, you've got a nice little gravel which runs off of it, really smooth gravel, almost fine gravel, but they do feel confident and they do hide in them reeds on the tip of the island as well.
Nice. Okay guys, so that is swim number 4, which sort of concludes this bank of here at Specimen 1. So we'll get on our toes now, head round the other side where we'll see you in swim number 5. Okay mate, so here we are, swim number 5, and once again another lovely little swim, and looks like lots of features again. So what would you be doing?
Yeah, it's pretty similar to swim 4 we've just come out of, obviously being in the deeper end. Lovely reed line margins again. You've got a nice overhanging tree in the right hand corner which we talked about in swim 4. You can cast to obviously if there's no one in the swim.
Yeah.
And again with this swim, if there's no one in swim 4 you can get to the other corner underneath the tree. There's a slight indentation there which is quite clean.
Right, okay.
So it is a holding feature.
And that's in that far corner there?
Far corner over there, yeah.
Right, okay.
Tip of the island again, slight bit of gravel, same as swim 4.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got a nice island in front of you. If you look to your left, in front of swim 6, you've got a bit of reeds which comes out and goes back in. They do hold up in amongst them reeds, so it is worth getting a bait behind them reeds there.
Yeah, okay. So they are just little flicks, isn't it, to be fair, and sort of sit
flicks,
back.
Using a baiting pole is probably the ideal method in this section of the lake.
Yeah, and what sort of depths as well? You in that 7 foot again, that sort of area?
Yeah, to the right of you you've got 7 foot, and as you come up the channel it goes back into 5 foot, so it goes 6, then 5, and then 5 being the main bowl in front of swim 6.
Yeah, so there we go guys, swim number 5 once again, a lovely looking swim, lots of options as they are in all swims on Specimen 1. So yeah, that concludes number 5, so obviously in line number 6. So swim number 6 mate.
Yeah.
And what I've noticed as well, swim 5 and 6 is disabled access as well.
Yeah, you got to have something for every angler.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is ideal.
Yeah.
Easy access down to the swim.
And it's very good. I mean, car park is what, 30 yards if that?
Yeah.
Yeah, happy days.
If they need a hand, and obviously we're willing to give them a hand as well.
Fantastic.
Ideal.
So there you go guys, 5 and 6, disabled access. So in terms of the fishing on this swim in number 6, what are we saying about this one mate?
This one, obviously, I've said it in all the swims, don't ignore the margins.
Yeah.
The margins do produce in here. That's where the bait goes in at the end of the day from every angler.
I seen that yesterday, you know, when I turned up and I saw the people leaving at 5, I sat on a bucket over there, and every single one just went down the edge with all their freebies, emptying their buckets, and then went. And you look about an hour later, and it's just fizzing all in those spots where they thrown their bait.
Yeah,
So
they're not silly.
no,
they know where to go. And then obviously in front of us, you've got a nice island again, a nice bit of reed line and a bit of lilies on the end of the tip of the island.
yeah,
As tight as you can again. Obviously a solid PVA bag's probably the one.
yeah,
You can get to it with just a clean lead, but obviously take your hook link off first, clip up, find your distance, and then go for it so you don't master your hook or anything like that.
yeah.
Get bait over the top.
So in terms of, you've got the lovely reeds opposite the end of the island. Have you got open water in this swim?
Yep,
You
open
can.
water to the left of the swim. Obviously you've got a nice set of lily pads. Obviously if there's no one else on the lake and no one else fishing to it, because that is not in your part of the water, that's normally covered by swim 7 and 1-2. Obviously if you do come off the lily pads and come into open water, if you line up the like lilies, iris to your left hand side with the purple flowers on and the end of the island and pointing towards the lily pads, you do hit the same gravel hump as swim 3 does,
Right.
which I've caught the fish off of.
Okay. Right.
Which I had that lovely mirror off of.
And that's a good sized gravel area.
Yeah, it's literally the same size as swim 1-2.
Right.
So it is a big area.
Yeah.
Obviously on top of it you've got about 2-3 foot of water depending on the time of year. And again, if you see them flanking on the top of it, you know they're on top of it. If you see them fizzing, then you know they're feeding around the edge of it on the blood one.
Yeah. Like I say, I've noticed this on the way around. There's a lot of clouded water, and that tells you where the fish are. They are feeding, and like you said in the previous swim, they get everywhere. And this, for me, the plumes of the mud popping up is telling us they are all over this lake at the moment.
Themselves away before you even catch them.
Yeah, no, it is, no, definitely. So there you go, guys. Once again, swim number 6, lots of options. Obviously, you've got the margins, you've got the island, and with this one, you get the open water as well. You fish to the edge of that gravel bar. And like I say, just have a word. If anyone else is in swim 3, find out where he's fishing. The gravel bar is big enough to share, but again, just that little bit of etiquette, so you all get a bit of space, so you can all have a go at the same sort of area if you like. So yeah, liking that, swim number 6. So as ever, swim number 7.
Brilliant.
So here we are, guys, swim number 7, and looking at this gives us access to the main bowl of the lake, mate.
Yeah.
Very nice.
It does. Very open water swim, this one. You have got a lot of features in front of you again,
Yeah.
which is ideal.
Okay. I can't believe how big the lake looks from here. Do you know what I mean? You see how much water there is now, to be fair, when you look at it, and how where you sort of stand in swim 3 and swim 6, that corner is massive on that island, where when you're standing in the swim it looks a real small corner.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, that's like 15 foot long.
Yeah, from this swim it literally just opens up.
Yeah.
And yeah, people are amazed, obviously, because when they first come in they normally walk just right,
Yeah.
and then walk round, and then obviously where we're on the back end of the lake, when they walk round here and they look at the swim, they're like, that's amazing, I didn't realise how big it is.
Yeah, no, it is a big lake looking at it here. So swim 7 then, in terms of fishing this swim, obviously you got your normal feature, you got the big set of pads right in front of you, and then obviously the island to the left hand side. Is that a spot people target, that island?
Yeah. Anywhere in front of that island as you go around into swim 8, which is to the left of us now, that always produces fish. They're always around the edge of the island, or in the margins. Predominantly of them, obviously they do push into open water, but this swim it's normally the margins
Okay.
which do pick them up.
So would you have access as well to that gravel bar, the back end of it this side as well?
Back end of the gravel bar, yep. Obviously go and have a word with swim 6 first, just to find out where they're fishing to, because they do control it more than
this one.
swim.
Right, okay.
And in front of the swim as well, if you just go 4 wraps out, and in line with swim 3 there is another smaller gravel hump,
Right, okay.
which you can fish on as well.
Yeah, okay. And I see to the right hand side there's a nice little bays as well down here.
Yeah, to the right hand side you've got a nice little bay to the right of you, which is their spawning ground, so obviously they do feel comfortable up in there as well.
Okay.
They will push up there.
Right, definitely worth having. Even being here now for the last 5 minutes, we've seen the odd reed knocking and that moving, so they are there.
And then last night and this morning we see one jump from this swim.
Yeah. Now before we go on to swim 8, I've been told as well there's some absolute monster perch in here as well.
Yeah. Yeah, one guy recently on swim 1-2, he actually picked up a £5 perch.
£5 perch, so...
Yeah, on a wafter, believe it or not.
Jesus.
Pink wafter. So
Wow, that's amazing.
That's an amazing perch.
Straight away I know there's a few of my mates whose eyebrows have raised already if I'm saying there's £5 perch in here. So for all you sort of perch enthusiasts targeting big perch this winter, £5 in here, so definitely worth a trip over in the colder months to target those little stripies, or big stripies should we say here. Yeah, lovely mate. So right, we'll wrap up the camera, head over to swim number 8.
Yeah.
So last swim on Specie 1, guys. This is swim 8, and you really do feel sort of tucked out of the way, just away from everybody and everything. This is the back end of the island in the channel, and once again, I'm not going to lie, well, on the camera footage then you can just see, if I put it up now, we've just seen one bosh just on the corner. You can see the ripples coming out. That's one that's just sort of stuck its head out here. So yeah, what are you saying about this one, mate?
This swim obviously is nicely tucked out of the way. It is a short marginal swim. One to the tip of the island on the right hand side, where the purple flowers come out and the iris.
Yeah.
That is ideal, obviously, where we see the
it's just stuck its head out. Yeah.
There is a little bit of gravel there as well.
Right.
So
Okay.
nice and smooth as well. So obviously it's obviously flanking off the gravel.
Yeah.
Coming up and showing itself.
Okay.
The reed line, if you see any of them moving or anything like that, you know they're tucked in.
I was going to say those reeds look quite far out from the bank, so I'd imagine the depths there, they do get in amongst the reeds almost.
That's it. And then where the reeds start on the left hand side of the swim,
Yeah.
come up and finish where you got the purple flowers, there is a gravel strip which runs. It's only a narrow gravel strip.
Yeah.
Either try and find it and fish on top of it, or fish either side of it.
Okay.
And that does produce quite a few fish.
Right. Okay. And then moving up the sort of channel, if you can look, see the footage now, guys, as I'm showing you up that channel, you've got all that water, and then that goes into another island, and what's that? That's a sanctuary, you call it?
Sanctuary around the back, yeah. Obviously, that's the one you see in front of swim 0,
Yeah.
and swim 1, 2, to the right of the swims.
Right.
The fish, again, they do either push in there if they feel pressured, or they do pass through there and come out this end. Obviously, if you are fishing to that swim,
Yeah.
make sure you're on your rod, and make sure you're locked up, because as soon as they pick up, they do go around the back there, and obviously fish safety in mind.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. One strict rule, guys. I'd say there's 2 strict rules I found here at Greenacres. Is if you're fishing up to the pads, or fishing up to obviously the sanctuary or snags or anything like that, got to be on your rods. They don't want you wandering off, you know, letting the fish run for sort of 5 or 6 seconds into that's game over. And the other one is make sure you dip your nets and everything when you get here. In the car park, before I arrived yesterday, there's a big net dip, so that's your slings, your mats, your nets, everything gets dunked, and then just leave them to dry for 10 minutes before you head out onto your sort of chosen swim. So right, guys, that brings to an end the tour of Specimen 1 Lake. As I'm sure you'll agree, 8 fantastic swims, plenty to go at, lots of big fish, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to my evening session. So what I'm going to do now, guys, the sun's come out, my head's burning, I'll go and grab my hat, and then we'll head round to the car park and kick things off on the awesome match pool known as Kingfisher. Well, here we are. As I always say, the central hub of most fisheries is the central car park itself. It's also where the fishery office is located as well. So that's the sort of main clubhouse, if you like. Also there, you'll find the toilets as well. There's facilities like showers, wash basins, all nice and clean and fresh. So if you fancy a sort of a freshen up during your stay here at Greenacres, everything is located where the actual fishery office is. So the lake we're going to have a look at is to my left hand side, which is known as the Match Lake, which has been named Kingfisher. So we'll grab the camera, go and have a look at that and what that has got to offer. So here we are at the very impressive Kingfisher Lake on the venue itself, known as a sort of match pool, but this fishery, or this lake should I say, has a lot to offer. In terms of the fish you're fishing for, it's a proper mixed bag. You've got everything in this venue behind me. You've got roach, you've got rudd, you've got F1s, you've got carp, you've got perch that go to sort of 2.5 pound, you've got bream, you've even got gudgeon running around in this venue behind me. So a proper mixed bag fishery and all manner of fish to sort of pull your string for the day. I think this would be a great venue if you were bringing someone down and you wanted to get them into fishing, or bringing your nippers down, getting your kids into fishing. This would be a perfect lake to start them on, because you guarantee lots of bites as well. A lovely little lake. It's got lots and lots of features as well. You've got islands, reed line, you've got pads, and there's some really beautiful swims here. Rock solid, nice and clean, easy access. A great little venue here on the complex that is Greenacres. I would say as well, if you've got a bunch of you and you like to sort of get together for a match, you can actually hire this pool out as well for a full match. So it's your lake for the whole day. Speak to the owners here at Greenacres. They can accommodate that, sort you out a deal and whatnot for the lake exclusive, so you can all come down and have that get together with your mates, have a knock up and have a match. But a fantastic little pool, great beginners pool and a great match pool as well. So that's the Kingfisher Lake on the venue. Lovely little place. The next sort of lake we're going to go and have a look at now is called Bluebell. Very similar to this place, a little bit smaller, and a great place if you're trying to get into fishing, bringing your kids down. The next one, Bluebell, will be another great start. So here we are at the second venue. This behind me is the very impressive Bluebell Lake. Now, it just feels proper fishing here. It feels like, you know, when you were like sort of 10 years old and you just stumbled across a lake in the woods with your mates and you just went fishing. You didn't know who owned the water, you were just a kid and you just went, this is the feeling I get when I look at Bluebell. It's surrounded by this old ancient wood. It looks like it's been here forever. I think Barney Rubble must have fished it once upon a time, but it's a fantastic feeling you get here at Bluebell. It just feels like you're tucked away from the rest of the fishery, away from the rat race. You can come here for a sort of proper day's fishing, tucked away from the world, you know. It really does feel like that. I feel like I'm 10 years old again walking around this place. It feels amazing. I'd love to have a go at the roach and the rudd that are in here at the moment on a waggler rod. But yeah, beautiful little lake, nice swims as well, easy access right the way around it. In terms of the fish and the species that are in this little water, pretty much the same as Kingfisher, you know, a mixed bag. And like I say, another great venue to sort of come down for a mate for a day, or just on your own, just to get away from everything. Bluebell would be a fantastic venue to go at. There's little nooks and crannies everywhere, proper old trees that are overhanging the water that you could literally flick a little waggler rod underneath. It's just proper fishing how it used to be. That's the feeling I get here at this lake at Bluebell. Absolutely fantastic. Yeah, I love it. Absolutely love this water. So yeah, in terms of where it is, it's literally next where the clubhouse is. It's opposite the clubhouse, so easy access from, you know, a short walk from the car. Yeah, what more can you say? If you want a day's fishing out of the way of the world, Bluebell is the one. We're going to grab the camera gear now, head down the bottom end of the fishery, where we're going to head to Herring Lake. So here we are on Herring Lake. Now, as you can see from the aerial footage there, very well established and so many options again. It's, you know, it's got those overhanging trees, it's got pads, it's got reeds, it's got bulrushes, it's got islands. There's just so much going on here on Herring. Now, in terms of what you're fishing for here, it's basically same as the other two sort of lakes that we've covered, but just everything in here is just bigger. You know, there's more specimen species to go at. So if you're targeting the roach, the rudd, the tench, the bream, there's no F1s, there's some big perch. It's all those species, but there's just bigger fish in here to go at. So if you're that specimen hunter and if you like your bream fishing or your roach fishing, herring would definitely be the place for you. If you're a carp angler and you want to go for the carp in here, they do run to sort of the low 20s in Herring Lake itself, and as you can see, plenty big enough for bivvies as well if you fancy doing the overnight stays or in your day shelters and whatnot. Herring has actually got those facilities to house that sort of angler. Now, in terms of me running around the whole lake and showing you every swim, I'm not going to, because there's 20 swims on Herring Lake. So I've just gone around and I've panned some of the actual the bigger swims, if you like. But again, as you can see from the footage there, every swim has got options. You've got pads, you've got reeds, you've got overhanging bushes, fishing up to islands. It's such a well-established lake, this one. It just gives you, it's just a good sense of proper angling, and you just feel like you're just tucked away out of the middle of nowhere again. And that's what I've noticed about this venue. It's very peaceful, very quiet. Like I say, it's in the middle of nowhere, you're out in the countryside, and there's just beautiful lakes to sit and enjoy your day's fishing. So if you're that mixed pleasure angler that likes to fish for everything but like them big, Herring is definitely the lake for you. So that brings to the tour of the Herring Lake. Now, next door is the other Specimen Lake. This one houses carp to over 30 pound, and it also houses some bloody big cats as well. So guys, you join me on Specimen Lake number 2. I'm right down the bottom end. This is the furthest point you can come in the fishery itself. I'm down on the double swim, which is 3 and 4 of the Specimen number 2. So in terms of swims on this venue, you've got 11 numbered swims. 4 of those are double swims, and like I say, this one is the double, which is known as peg 3 and peg 4. So in terms of sort of options in this swim, I suppose, your left-hand side, or the left-hand swim, which will be number 4, you've got a lovely reed bay to your left hand side there, a sort of area you can sort of walk down the bank, put some bait in through the reeds and then sort of cast down to it. You've got open water, you've got an island straight in front of you, you've got a load of overhanging trees to your right hand side, a nice little bay, and you've got pads to the right hand side as well. So yeah, a wicked little swim, and obviously definitely worth the walk with the amount of sort of features you've got down at this sort of area of the lake. What I'm going to do on the way back around, I'll stop at pegs the double 4 and 5. There's another double which is, the double 5 and 6, and then the other double which is 7 and 8, and then there's some single swims at the top, which I'll just show you those as well on the footage before we head back to our bivvy and get the rods out for the evening. In terms of what is swimming round in here, you've got a good head of carp in Specimen Lake 2. You've got carp that go over the 30 barrier as well, so good head of decent sized fish, and then also in here you've got some monster cats which go up to just under 70 pounds. So there is some absolute tanks waddling around in this Specie Lake as well. A fantastic lake. So what I'll do, guys, I'm going to grab the camera now, head round to the other swims, show you those, and then obviously we'll get back to our bivvy, our swim, get the rods out for the evening, and hopefully we can winkle a carp out as well before we leave tomorrow morning. Right, grab the camera, let's go. Well guys, the middle rod has come into fruition after moving it from the left hand island and swapping it over to the right hand island, the one that sits in front of the sanctuary. It's come good, and we're attached to a very angry carp at the moment that's literally bolted right the way down the lake, and he's just down to my right hand margin at the moment. So if I can just steer him out, it's like a nice mirror. I grabbed the net. I wasn't expecting a bite this early because it's been so hot today, and like ridiculously hot, up to 30 degrees, and just sitting here baking. I was thinking, oh come on son, in you come, yes! I was sitting here thinking it'll be tonight, you know what I mean, when the sun goes down or something. But yeah, to have one just ramp off out the blue, absolutely amazing. So happy. And yeah, it's a lovely little pretty mirror, that one. Looks like a high teen anyway, which is a little bit bigger than the common we've had. So yeah, absolutely made up, really made up. Come on. Buzzing, I'm absolutely buzzing, literally lost for words, just out of the blue. I'm just messing about with my camera gear, and yeah, what a wicked fish. Right, let's get everything sorted and show you what we got. Well, a proper unexpected bite out of the blue this afternoon. I wasn't expecting it. It's been sort of red hot all day. Obviously, this fish is proper angry, by the way, so apologies if he doesn't sit still. But yeah, after obviously speaking to Martin earlier and finding that other spot on the other island, which is in front of the sanctuary, that is the result. So a wicked little mirror, not far off £15 either, so a little bit smaller than I thought. He fought like his life depended on it, but yeah, absolutely chuffed as you like with that one. A wicked little mirror, and yeah, couldn't be happier. What a great start we've had here at Greenacres. So one common, one mirror, and one night to go. So fingers crossed we can get amongst one of its bigger brothers or sisters. Brilliant. Right, well, let's get this one back and we'll get the rod back on its spot. Excellent. Well, good morning folks. It's set to be another beautiful day here in the Kent countryside, but in terms of reporting anything for you fish wise, I got nothing, absolutely nothing for you. Very quiet night for me last night. I did sit up quite late listening. They were a lot of active fish, but they were showing them sitting here listening to where they were, definitely in front of Peg 3 down that sort of channel there, and also opposite me, Peg 8 behind the island, that sort of channel we showed you yesterday. There was quite a number of fish that I heard smashing out around the back of there, so they were definitely active last night, just not in this swim unfortunately. And I really did think we'd have another. Obviously everything was set, and it was the longest period I was going to have in the swim, while you know other times running around the whole complex filming. This was my longest period with the rods in the water, so you know, it's weird. We've had the 2 bites when we had the least amount of time fishing, and the most amount of time fishing I haven't had anything. So it's one of them, innit? But you know, that's angling. You know, that's what we take it for. But I've really enjoyed my time here at Greenacres. It is a fantastic, beautiful run fishery, and one I definitely will be returning to. It's a long drive for me to come here, but you know what? If I could have a social with a few mates down here, absolutely. It's a great fishery, and one that if you haven't visited here, you would definitely enjoy it. It's fantastic. It's so it's just so picturesque, so quiet, and for me, it's what carp fishing's all about. You know, getting yourself away from the rat race, away from the world, and having that couple of days chill out time for yourself. So yeah, that sort of brings to an end the fishery tour here. I hope you've enjoyed it. I've got the tedious task now of packing down and heading back up north for that 5-hour journey of mine. But listen, if you need any more information on this place, please visit the website. Just Google up Greenacres Farm Fishery. Right, finish me coffee and then get this lot packed away. Thank you ever so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.